She was built in 1977 as the Ferry Yankai for Kyushu Yusen KK. She is the outcome of Kyushu Yusen trying out the Awaji design, however, built much later than the others who tried out the Awaji designs. Her launch was delayed, but all in all, she was launched in early 1978. She was 75 meters long and 15 meters wide, which made her slightly larger than the original Awaji design. She was placed on the Moji to Matsuyama route. She used to take 9 hours to reach the other port, which is quite slow. The reason was because she had ballast problems and was slightly too top-heavy. She continued to have problems and was beginning to become unprofitable, but Kyushu Yusen did not give up. In 1985, she was sent back to the shipyard she was built in and refitted with a bow visor, similar to the one her fleet mate, the Ferry Agata, had. She returned 5 months later with fixed ballast systems and better balance. Once again, Ferry Yankai was profitable. Her new travel time was only 6 hours and 30 minutes, which was a big improvement. Her visor also handled the weather better than her old bow ramp. But sadly, Kyushu Yusen did lose hope in her after an accident on November 28, 1987. She collided with a police boat at 2 p.m. that day, which capsized the boat and punctured Yankai's hull. She later sank in shallow water. On December 7th, she was refloated and tugged back to the shipyard, which revealed damages to the superstructure. She was bought by Sulpicio Lines, and she was almost completely rebuilt in Japan. Plenty more decks were added. They also rebuilt her navigational bridge and funnels. Her new name was the Bantayan Princess, and she served the Cebu to Bantayan route, competing with FJ Palacio Lines. A few months later, the route was discontinued, and she was put in tandem with Boholana Princess. Here is a closer look at the Bantayan Princess. In 2005, she was sold to Cocaliong to make way for the ill-fated Princess of the Stars. She became the Filipinas Masao. Her bridge was shifted lower, and her interiors were greatly improved. She served Cebu to Butuan. She was sold in 2013 to Roble Shipping to make way for the larger, newer Filipinas Butuan. She was the delightful Stars under Roble. Sadly, she didn't last long, as she caught fire in 2017. She was underway to Hilongos from Cebu when a fire erupted from the car deck. She was stuck 42 kilometers away from Hilongos. There were fortunately no casualties. Her aft section was a loss, but she still survived. She was bought by Transasia Lines, which completely rebuilt her stern. She was launched in 2018. Her new name was Transasia 6. Transasia used her to enter the Cebu to Ormoc route. However, at times she was used on the Cebu to Masbate route. But for a third time, disaster struck the ship. During Typhoon Odette, the captain made a bold move to continue sailing to Ormoc City. Her engines broke down while they were in the Camote Sea. Fortunately, only crew and rolling cargo were aboard. However, they continued sailing, eventually sailing off course and into the Albura coastline. Later on, seawater entered the cargo hold, and flooding began. Eventually, her visor broke open, and water rushed into the cargo hold. A fishing boat was able to rescue all 37 crew and beached itself on the shore. The fishing boat was fine. All the crew departed the boat. The same couldn't be said for the Transasia 6. She was half submerged in the shallow waters of Albuera Leyte. She was bought at scrap value by a Chinese shipyard, was refloated, then tugged away to China. The latest update on her was in 2023, where she is in the middle of the dismantling process. She served long. She is slightly beached on the shore. As of 2026, her current status is unknown, but most likely she has been completely scrapped.